All right, we're back with HSC Podcast NFL Week 4 picks. So talking about last week, worst week of the year so far for me, 8-8, big smooth, not too bad, 10-6.
Mm.
So after a really good week 2, fell off a little bit week 3. It's time for a bounce back week here in week 4. So let's get into picks, starting with Thursday night football. We got Seattle at Arizona. Why don't you lead us off here? What do you got?
Oh, I'm just going off a gut here. I'm taking the Cardinals. I think, they had a chance to beat the Niners last week. Seattle, I still don't have much faith in Sam Darnold. Their defense is really good, but they are going to Arizona. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Cardinals here.
Yeah, both teams are a little banged up, not with a lot of key players, but there are a few key players that have got hurt recently. Arizona definitely at home has a little bit of advantage, but Seattle for me is on has a little bit of confidence going, and kind of like Darnold last year at Minnesota, when the team starts playing well, he looks like a different quarterback versus when the team's not playing well. And I don't know. Arizona is a little bit too hit and miss for me with a 2 point or 1.5 point spread as well. Seattle. I'm going to take Seattle here. I think they get in the end zone a couple times. I like Jackson Smith and Jigba to score. I think Kenneth Walker scores. So yeah, swing game week 1 or game 1. So you're taking Arizona, I'm taking Seattle. I actually am pretty feeling pretty good about Seattle in this game actually. So
I don't know. For me, it's my gut. Just like, my gut said Panthers last week, and I didn't take them.
right. So now
Well,
you
this
just
week,
got
I'm taking on my gut.
you're just going with it. I like it. Minnesota and Pittsburgh in Dublin. So no home team here. A lot of traveling. Early game.
Make sure you have your fantasy football set.
This was a tough pick for me, actually. I went back and forth with this one. And ultimately, I'm going to land on Minnesota to cover 2.5. I mean, just 3 points. I think I guess it comes down for me that Minnesota's defense will win this game. And not maybe their players, but their scheme. You put enough pressure on Rodgers, you're really going to force the skill players to play well, and Pittsburgh skill players outside of, I mean, even DK, I'm not super impressed with. I just don't know if they have enough skill players to overcome the pressure that Flores is going to put on them. And Rodgers just isn't what he was, obviously who is at that age, right? You can't play quarterback forever unless you're Tom Brady, you know. So I got to take Minnesota here.
Another swing game. I'm taking Steelers.
Oh
Aaron
man.
Rodgers is not Jake Browning.
Right.
He's not going to make a bunch of the dumb mistakes that Browning made. So, and I don't really trust the Vikings offense. So I'm going to take the Steelers.
Yeah, I had the Steelers, then I had Minnesota, and then I had the Steelers. And I actually was had the Steelers up to about an hour ago. And I just kept thinking, I'm like, man, Mason's going to run the ball a lot, and there's going to be a lot of defense on both sides, So it really comes down to how well Pittsburgh defense plays, which they have some of the tools. So It's a coin flip, so it could go either way. But we got another swing game back to back. That's crazy. All right. Well, Washington at Atlanta. This is a home game for Atlanta coming off a huge loss to Carolina. Washington, pretty big win. Sounds like you might see Jaden Daniels back. What do you got here?
It doesn't matter. You're still taking the Commanders here because I told you I don't trust the Falcons.
Yeah.
Commanders have too much depth. I think they have better coaching, so I'm taking the Commanders.
Yeah, I'm taking the Commanders here as well. I do think I hope to see Jaden Daniels back, and if he does play, it's definitely the Commanders. Even without him, Atlanta does play better at home, so you got to give them that. And you got to imagine that Raheem Morris is going to have them playing better after that loss. I mean, he's that kind of coach. He's just that kind of. He was that kind of player. He's that kind of guy. Where I don't think Atlanta comes out and lays another egg, but I think Washington, outlasts them and definitely covers 1.5. So we'll give the Commanders that one. New Orleans at Buffalo, 15.5 point favorite here for Buffalo. I mean, I just don't see how New Orleans could win this game. I don't even know that they want to win this game.
Well, yeah, this is my what I took in my gosh, the
Oh, your knockout or your
yeah, and that's who I took the Bills
yeah.
because they're playing the Saints.
It might be every week from here on out.
Well, there'll only be there's going to be 3 games, 3 weeks where I can't because you can only pick a team once. So,
Okay.
I don't think I'd pick them in the Saints Falcons. I would stay away from that one though.
Right. Well, I don't know. 15.5 is a lot to cover. They may cover that as Seattle did. Um, but you got to take Buffalo here. So I'm definitely going Buffalo. That's a big cover, but they might do it. So no swing game there. I'm assuming you have Buffalo as well.
Yes, yeah, I got Buffalo.
All right. Well, here you go. Cleveland going into Detroit. What do you got here?
I got was Do you have Detroit favored by 10?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm taking Detroit because it's they're they're now on a mission after pretty much getting handled by the Packers. They've looked totally different after that game.
Right. It's tough now, looking at Cleveland because they just beat the Packers, who beat Detroit. But going into Detroit, that's a whole different thing for Cleveland. Um, and like you said, Detroit's on a roll. I don't know if they'll cover though, is the problem. Because Cleveland's defense is just solid, and they're ranked number one. And Detroit, the thing with Detroit, what I think is happening with them is they're getting past that point of replacing what 6 coaches, right?
Yeah.
And once you start to mold into those coaches and they mold into the program, Detroit has the players to win the NFC. And so that's a tough ask for Cleveland to go into Detroit and win that game. So you got to take Detroit here. The 10 cover is tough though.
Yeah.
But I'm
That's
definitely
one
taking Detroit.
I always those are ones where they're always the scary because you really kind of want to stay away from big
Big
covers.
covers, right? But I think we both agree Detroit wins this game, which probably means Cleveland's going to win. Let's see. Carolina at New England. This just became a more interesting game. after Carolina blows out Atlanta, but maybe it's just Atlanta, played horrible. But in New England, they're giving them 5.5. Oh, man, I got to take New England here. I like, even though New England's 1-2, tough loss last week to the Steelers. That first week, you just don't know what's going to happen. They lost to the Raiders, but I like them at home against the Panthers here, probably to cover the 6.5, whatever it is. So I'm taking New England here.
Yeah, I've got New England also. I just think it's the Panthers were at home last week. They won. They beat the Falcons. Now they're going to New England. The teams are pretty equal though, but I'm
Right.
still going to give it to the Patriots just because I believe in Vrabel more than I believe in who is even the coach of them.
Who is their coach? Now let's get this. Let's look this up. Panthers coach. I mean, typically Dave Canal. Oh, Dave Canals.
Oh, Dave Canals. Yeah. So
Yeah.
definitely
God, it's not often like you don't know who's a coach. Man, this is a tough game though. Like this is a hard pick, even though we're both going New England. It really comes down to the quarterback play, I think. Who plays better, Bryce Young or Drake May? That's who I think wins the game.
yeah, I agree.
Chargers going into the Giants. You got Jackson Dart starting at home, first game of his career as a starter. How does the rookie fare? What do you think?
It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be a good game for him. I hate it, but the Chargers are going to be 4-0.
Yeah, it's only 6.5 too. I mean, I think they do cover. I mean, I like the Chargers here too. What do you think? What's Jackson Dart's stat line? If you had to guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be tough because the Chargers are going to play that cover two. They're going to have to make Jackson Dart throw accurately in the middle of the field in tight windows.
Yep.
I just don't see it happening. Their running game, even though they're going to have Scatterboo, I don't even Scatterboo doesn't even look that great.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to get Malik Neighbors over the top because that's the thing is they're going to eliminate deep throws. That's why I was like, this is not the game for him to come in to start.
It is a tough one. It would be much better to put him in next week against the Saints. Um, he does. So if he can make the right reads, I think he has the ability to get in between the cover two to Neighbors, just over the corner underneath the safety. He does have the arm for that. But can he make the read for that is the question. And I don't know that New York has enough weapons to not be paying enough attention. The Chargers are going to be watching Neighbors, right? So you're going to get a little extra. The safeties over the top, but they're going to come down a little bit more on those, in the pocket throws when they're trying to get it in between the corner and safety. But stat line wise, yeah, I could see him maybe throwing for 190 because Chargers gonna put pressure on him.
15 of 40, 190.
15 to 40 for 190 yards. And most of them are gonna be like bubble screens
Yeah.
or backs, the back out in the flat. Maybe some curls, tight end curls.
Yeah.
Maybe throws a touchdown, but maybe an interception. So one touchdown, one interception, 190 yards. That's my Jackson Dart stat line.
Mark it down.
Yep. But I think we both got the Chargers there. I think they'll cover 6.5. Here's a really interesting game. Philly at Tampa. Philly on the road, 3.5 point favorite going into Tampa. So I went back and forth with this one too. I'm gonna stick with my gut, like you said, and I'm gonna take Tampa. Philly has snuck by in every game this year. So yeah, they're 3-0, but so is Tampa, right? So I guess you can't really fault either of them for being 3-0 and winning close games. That says something for you know, their durability and their ability to hang in games and win at the end, you know. This is a big game for Baker Mayfield. He's a little banged up, but you know he's playing and he's going to give it his all. If they can keep Philly out of the red zone, most of the game, I think Tampa's got a shot. And I like Bucky Irvin here. I like Philly's banged up on defense. I think Bucky has a big game. And not just running, I think catching the ball. So I'm taking Tampa.
I agree with you. I'm taking Tampa also. The only issue is no Mike Evans. So let's see if Godwin plays.
Yeah,
They need someone opposite of Ekuba for this
right.
game. But I'm just taking, like you said, it's just the Eagles, you got to give it to them. They keep winning, but it doesn't look that good.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of luck on their side. Plus, we don't know. Obviously, the Cowboys are not that good.
No, you lost to the Bears badly,
And then the Chiefs haven't looked that good.
right? And you barely won that game.
Yeah.
And then you win on a field goal block against the Rams.
Yes. So the Eagles will still be good this year, but I just think this is Tampa's game.
Right. But you got to look at Tampa 3-0 by a total of 6 points.
Yes.
And they haven't played particularly great teams either in the Falcons, Texans, and Jets. So I think this is an important game for both of them to get going. Like Saquon has to get going. Philly really needs to get Saquon going in this game.
They really need to get Hurts going. He
Yeah,
hasn't
I
cooked
mean,
them.
what do you do though? Like, because look, I like Hurts as a football player, but as a straight quarterback, he's not ideal.
Yeah, but you've got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith.
Right.
You don't have to do too much. Just
I
get them the
know,
ball.
but you got to get him the ball, right? You got to throw him the ball, and it's got to be accurate. It's got to be on time.
He's got these claws, Steve.
He just
He
doesn't
just
know how
doesn't
to
know what to
use
do
them.
with them.
His big fangs and his claws, and you still know how to kill the bear. Oh man, this is going to be a fun game to watch, though. I think this if I sit down for a morning game, I think this is the game I want to see. All right, so like an agreement on Tampa. So that's a big upset as far as the money line, right? Because you got 3.5 point favorite for Philly. Tennessee at Houston. It's an interesting game. This is important for Houston because I don't know that anybody expects Houston to be 0-3 right now.
What was it that was like the sharpest decline in NFL history, CJ Stroud?
Well, I mean, we've been talking about it even before the season. You have that big slump, and then can you get out of it? So this is a big game for him, and I think it's Tennessee. Obviously, they're rebuilding. They're on the road at Houston. Houston's 7.5 point favorite. I can't see Houston losing this game. So I'm taking Houston. I don't know if they'll cover. It's 7.5 and 8 points. It's a big cover, but they're at home. Nico Collins got to have a big game. And I picked up Woody Marks because I think Woody Marks is going to start coming around as potentially their number one here by the end of the season. So he needs to have a big game as well. But I'm sticking with Houston here.
Well, this is, for me, well, the Texans, I pounded the table for D'Amico Ryans because I thought he was a great coach. This is the game right here. He needs to show it. He's got to get that defense harassing Cam Ward. But yes, I got the Texans winning this game too. But you're right. It's tough there's no trust in the Texans to cover.
Yeah, because their offense is just so hit and miss. Points wise, it's a lot to cover. But I think you're right here that this is an important game for D'Amico Ryans as a coach. To have that huge decline last season and starting off 0-3, if you don't get your team up for this game, that says a little bit about you as a coach. So I hope Houston wins because I do really think D'Amico Ryans will be a good coach for a long time. Might be one of the games of the week here. The Colts at the Rams. Rams at home, 3.5 point favorite. What do you got here?
It's running through my mind because I can't say it out loud because of copyrights, but man, I'm taking the Colts here and I got a theme song in my head talking about, somebody in Indiana with the last name Jones. So I got the Colts going into LA and beating the Rams.
Yeah, this is a tough one, right? Because the Colts just look pretty good when you think about it. That close game, obviously, against Denver, who Denver is no slouch, right? They're a good team, but beating up on the Titans, beating up on the Dolphins, their offense is working well with the passing game and the running game. Their defense has been pretty solid. Tyler Warren is looking better each week. Thanks, Bears, for not drafting him. Um, but the Rams have looked pretty good, right? They dropped to 2-1 with a real tough loss to the Eagles. And boy, the bad taste that must be in the Rams' mouth all week, you got to think they come out fired up. But I'm on the same wavelength as you. I mean, I think the Colts are on a roll, and maybe the Rams derail that, but I just don't think they do. And being an underdog, I'm taking the Colts. Danny Dimes. I will not ever call him Indiana Jones. He will only be Danny Dimes. But he's now my man. He's on my fantasy team. But it's funny. We talked about this at the beginning of the year. You know, you saw it a little bit in preseason. You just saw him as a different quarterback when he got there.
Well, I think you and me, we've been on the Danny Dimes even with the Giants. Wes was
Yeah,
the one hating on that.
yeah,
But it's like he looked, he made the playoffs with that Giants team that was not good.
right. And Dayball's first year.
Yeah. So he had, and that's the thing is he's had flashes. He just needed time.
Yeah. Well, and protection, like he's got the Indianapolis line is good. He's more mobile than people give him credit for, and so it's a big game for him too, because if they start getting on a roll, this is also kind of the Sam Darnold effect, I think, right? Where what happened in Minnesota, right? When he starts playing well and the team plays well, his confidence goes up, and then the things he does well start to, you know, get a little better, get a little more, they show a little bit more of the things that he does do well. So I do like that.
And I mean, if they win and go 4-0, they have a stranglehold on that division already.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big game for them, both teams. Like the Rams need to bounce back though too, because what a brutal loss. And the Rams looked pretty good against Philly. They should have won that game. Uh, I don't know. I almost want to say pretty easily because they made mistakes early in the game too that or throughout the game that they could have won that game. So this is a big game. This is going to be a fun game. I think that's a great game there to watch. Jacksonville at San Francisco. San Francisco 3.5 point favorite. It's unbelievable to me that the 49ers are 3-0. Just like it's hard to believe some teams are 0-3, like it's hard to believe the 49. Although, well, I mean, the Saints, even though, and they played the Saints close, got, beat the Seahawks in week one, with a late turnover. The Cardinals 16-15. Like, what are you guys doing here? Big game for San Francisco. Jacksonville gets on the board with a big win. They're 2-1 now, but I think that Houston game gave them some confidence, right, in the division, and so I like Jacksonville going into San Francisco and winning this game. It might be, it might be the game that Trevor Lawrence needs to get him back on track.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Niners just have too many injuries. They're not going to be able to sustain with all these injuries. Bosa's out for the season now.
Yeah, the Bosa one's big.
So yeah, I'm taking the Jags at the upset.
Yeah, and being a 3.5 underdog, I get it. San Francisco's 3-0, and I get it. They're at home, but man, like if I'm taking trying to get good odds on a bet, I like this one because you're going to get good odds being an underdog 3.5 on the road. I think ETN has a good game, and yeah, Jacksonville wins it. Talk about big games for teams. Next game here, Baltimore at Kansas City. We talked about this before the podcast, but now that we're here, I mean, let's break this down. These two teams at 1-2, you never would have guessed this.
No. Well, it's weird though because haven't we seen this in the Ravens the last few years anyway? I mean, like remember last year the Ravens lost to the Raiders,
Right.
and they all, they started off 0-2 last year. I still think, like, think about it though. They played the Bills, the Lions, and then a really tough Browns defense, right?
Right. And they scored 41 on the Browns.
Yeah. So I'm I got to ride with who I die with, and I'm still going to take the Ravens. They got to turn this around.
They really do. Like this is an important game for the Ravens. but it's equally as important for the Chiefs. Chiefs go to 1-3. That's rough, right? I mean, I don't know when's the last time the Chiefs were had a start like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's an interesting start for the Chiefs, especially with the Chargers playing well. And it's the Chiefs, they got the Texans and the Rams and the Bears and the Dolphins, so they don't have a particularly tough schedule coming up. But this is still a very important game for the Chiefs. They're at home. But there's just I can't see that. I don't think the Chiefs right now are playing well enough to beat the Ravens. Yeah, the Ravens are 1-2, but like you said, it's a 1 point game against the Bills. They blow out the Browns, and they made the score look closer against the Lions at the end. The Lions kind of pulled away, but the first half they were neck and neck, right? They were playing equal to the Lions. If indeed their defense comes around like they promised to, and in the locker room, practice, what they're talking about, right? That defense is like, hey, we need to step up. The offense is like, hey, you guys need to step up. And so I think I like it. I like the Ravens going into Kansas City here and winning and covering. It's only 3 points.
Yeah.
So maybe not the game of the week for everybody else, but the game of the week for us. We got Chicago going into Vegas. Even with the price of tickets so high, I'm almost regretting not going to this game.
Dude, though. Well, yeah, because you're probably gonna win. Um,
No, just because like you don't get a lot of these chances.
I know, but it's what was it like $500
I
a
know. It's
nosebleed?
very
That's
expensive tickets.
ridiculous. I'm sorry, I'm a Raiders fan, but it's ridiculous that the Raiders ticket prices are so high when they suck so bad.
They're not horrible. Like, yeah, look, you get a week 1 win in New England, or what was that? It was at New England, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you played a tough Chargers team. You didn't play great. A lot of turnovers. Still only lost by 11. The Commanders game, that's where it looks like you're going a little bit backwards and downhill.
Yeah. And I just, the way that they're not running the ball, their offensive line is horrible. Um, I thought the right side was their defense was playing better and their run defense, and then they got gashed by Jeremy McNichols and like Mariota and stuff. So you're gonna be happy because the Bears are gonna be 2-2. I'm taking the Bears here.
Wow, going against your team. That's a
Until
tough
they
one.
could show me they can win games.
Yeah.
I I had them beating the Patriots and I had them beating the Chargers, and then yeah, they got to show it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I usually ride with the Bears anyway, but I legitimately think that the Bears can win this game. Um, they have a little bit of momentum from last week, but you look at statistically, even though they haven't won games, their offense is ranked in the top 10 in a lot of different categories. I mean, and look, you should have won the Vikings game. You played a tough Lions team in week 2. Yeah, you got blown out, but man, the Lions were on a mission and they look like they're continuing that mission. So realistically, if you don't have that blow up against the Vikings, you're 2-1 going into this game with a pretty good, offensive statistics. And I think the Raiders defense they're not going to be able to slow the offense down of the Bears right now. And Rome is looking really good. So if Roman Duze continues to play like that, and then if DJ can actually do what we got him to do, that's a question mark. But their defense has to play too. That's the only thing that worries me about this game is you need defense to play because the Raiders do have weapons. And so That's why it's a pretty much coin flip game here spread wise. It's only a 1.5 point spread, but I'm rolling with the Bears. So I'm gonna. I thought we might have a swing game there, but we're both going with Chicago, which might be good for you. Might mean that the Raiders come out with a win. You're playing that reverse psychology game, aren't you?
Yep, they got to prove me wrong.
But either way, still the game of the week for us. We don't get to see Bears and Raiders that often, so no swing game there. Green Bay at Dallas for the Sunday night game. People expected this to be a more interesting Sunday night game than it might turn out to be when they scheduled this. I Dallas just looks so bad. I mean, yeah, you pulled out this win against the Giants. I guess the Eagles game was closer than it was, but they really and now that CeeDee Lamb is hurt, like where are your weapons there? I'm like he's doubtful. So he may come back for this game, I guess, which would help them. But you got Micah Parsons coming back into Dallas. He's going to be on a mission. So I
It's
got
gonna
to
not
take
look.
Green
It's
Bay.
not gonna be pretty.
No, I'm going with Green Bay to cover the 6.5.
If you hate the Cowboys, this is the game to watch because it's not gonna look. It's not. It's gonna be like we'll rub it in Jerry Jones's face big time.
Yeah. Yeah, we got I think we're on the same page there. Green Bay. Really not an exciting Monday night, even though it's a doubleheader. The three of the four
Gosh,
teams are
both games are horrible.
terrible. um, Jets at Miami. Miami 2.5 point favorite at home. I mean, who knows who's going to win this game? I mean, I'm just taking Miami because they're at home. I don't know what else to say. Neither of those teams look great.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Jets.
Nice.
Well, they almost beat the
Yeah.
Steelers. They almost won last week. You know, blocked a field goal and everything like that. And so I got to take the Jets here. Because the Dolphins don't look good at all.
No. You got to think that this is an important game for both teams, but especially Mike McDaniel. Like he needs to show something in this game, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean,
But
they're
yeah,
paying, well, Tua does too. My gosh. He
yeah.
looks
But you
like
got, I
now
mean, you
that like
got Waddle, you got Tyreek Hill, you got A Chain. Like, what's going on?
like I said last week, Brian Flores is like, told you to draft Herbert.
Yeah. Well, just in general, he said, told you to keep me as a coach is what he should be saying. Okay, swing game. You got the Jets. I got Miami. We might as well flip a coin though. And then last game, wrap it up for Monday night. Cincinnati at Denver. Must win game for Denver at home. 7.5 point favorite. I mean, maybe Cincinnati. I mean, technically they're 2-1 still, but just getting destroyed by the Vikings does not bode well. And Chase Brown, just where is he at?
Or T. Higgins.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a reason though. He's like, nobody can throw me the ball. But I mean, I got to take Denver here at home.
Yeah, you got to take Denver. Away the Bengals played last week. There's no way you could bet on them.
Right. Yeah, they should cover that at home. Wrap it up. So, all right. Well, that wraps up our week 4 NFL picks. Let us know in the comments what you think. We'll keep you updated on our records as we go throughout the season. Just check out the description in there, and we'll jump into our movie review here in just a second.